welcome to my channel. I'm Diana and it's been a long time since I made a YouTube video. I made a lot of notes, so I will be looking at my laptop throughout this video. So today's topic is about the dieting culture in Korea. Just a bit of background about me. I was living in London for most of my life, and then I moved to Korea 3 years ago permanently, and I have lost 10 kilograms at most, but then I gained a bit back and now I'm at a healthy weight that I am happy with. What I'm going to mention in this video is just my personal experience and my opinion, and it doesn't mean that it's the right opinion or the right answer to anything. It's just my opinion. So let's get started now. I was weighing around 53 kilograms when I was in London. I wasn't working out that much. I wasn't like super into exercising at the time. I enjoyed it, but I didn't have a lot of time. I'm a workaholic, and at the time I was running a company and I was just breaking my back over it, so I didn't have time to exercise as much as I wanted to, and a lot of it was fat and not muscle. And then I moved to Korea 3 years ago and I naturally lost around 2 to 3 kilograms, and the reason is because a lot of Korean foods and meals have a lot of vegetables, like the side dishes banchan, and I'm also vegan, but I was vegan when I was in London and when I came to Korea anyway. But in general, Korean meals are less processed and there are less fried food if you eat traditional meals. The portion of rice is so small and I was so used to eating a lot of carby foods, and so the rice is like just one small bowl like this. It was like a third of what I used to eat in London in terms of carbs portion. And especially like in the West, when you eat something carby like pasta or pizza, like most of it is carbs, like over maybe 60 or 70% of the meal would be carb. Another thing that I noticed, but I don't drink coffee, so it doesn't really apply to me, but you may have heard that everyone in Korea drinks Americanos. Okay, that's obviously a generalization, but most people who drink coffee choose Americanos, and it's just super low calorie. I actually didn't know that I was fat. Like, okay, I don't think I was fat, but I didn't know that I was a bit chubby, or like I had some fat that I needed to lose or I wanted to lose when I was in London. I'm Asian and I'm 157 centimeters tall, but in the UK, I was wearing like size 6 or size 8 clothing, which is pretty like on the smaller side. When I moved to Korea, there's a lot of like one size fits all clothing, and so when I was experiencing shopping in Korea, then it made me feel like, oh, for some reason I don't fit it, but my height is exactly the average height in Korea, 157 centimeters for women. And so I was like, oh, if I don't fit the one size fits all, then that's a bit bad. So that kind of made me realize that maybe I am not as small and slim as I thought I was. I actually didn't get that many comments from Korean people saying like, oh, you're a bit chubby, or like anything commenting about my appearance that much. I think people have become a lot more understanding these days and open-minded, and realizing that it's not very nice to make comments about people's appearances. So personally, I haven't experienced many comments about my appearance since I came and moved to Korea 3 years ago, but I know that other people have had such experiences, so I guess it just depends. A few comments that I got about my appearance mainly were like about the size of my face, which is probably really weird for Western people to hear. The size of your face is a really big deal in Korea, it seems. I went to a dermatologist clinic to get a facial. Staff was always different every time they did my facial. I heard it so many times. They were like, your face is so small, and I was like, okay, like what am I supposed to do with that information? Like, well, how am I supposed to reply to that? I was just like, oh yes, okay. And I didn't think that is something you should say thank you to. Like, it didn't register that that is a compliment and that I should be like, oh, thank you, like this. So I was just like, actually it is a compliment. And a few times they asked me like, was your face like originally this small? And I was like, what does that mean? Like, how could it not originally be this small? Then I thought about it and realized that there are so many surgeries that you can get in Korea to make your face smaller. Trends are such a big deal in Korea, and these days the trend is like muscular toned bodies. And back in the day, 5 or 6 years ago when I was in Korea, for the short term, like being really slim and a little fragile looking was the trend. But these days, especially because of like Physical 100, a lot more people were working out and showing their progress, and then people became more accepting and interested in having a toned and muscular body. For a long time, women didn't want muscular bodies. I guess they wanted to look slim and toned, but they didn't want definition of their muscles to be shown. And so a lot of women started like Pilates and yoga because it can help them have a slim figure. And so there was a massive trend of Pilates, and especially the equipment Pilates became so popular that there's like Pilates everywhere. If you just search on Naver Maps. 4 or 5 years ago, they were mainly men dominated gyms. It may just be my experience and where I went, so don't take my word for it. But 2.5 years ago, I actually found a women's only gym, and there were a lot of women there working out really hard and having defined muscles. So I was like really happy to be there and motivated and excited to see women who were like so empowered and wanting to have like defined muscles. But there is one interesting thing, that non-surgical beauty procedures that was long, injections in your muscles that actually reduce your muscles. I don't know the real like science behind it, so don't take my word for it. It just reduces the size of your muscles or how like defined it looks. But that's what I heard. Some people actually get these injections regularly, especially like on their calves. Another trend is the body profile trend, and so you book it in advance and then you work out towards that goal. And there are so many studios these days. It's already been a trend for a good few years. When you choose like what style of studio you like, there are like very studio style, which is just like a backdrop and then you just like pose and there's like this harsh lighting on you so you can see like all your defined muscles. Or there's like a very natural version where it's kind of like homey style, so I chose that. I wanted it to look really natural and like homey. There are also advantages and disadvantages about that, which maybe I'll go into in another video. I personally found for myself it was a really good advantage for me to do that because it was a really great goal to work towards. But there are lots of cases and how it went quite badly too. So yeah, I heard a lot about that from my trainer, my personal trainer. He helped me so much to feel motivated and excited and not like embarrassed to use a gym, because it can sometimes feel overwhelming when you have no idea how to use the machines. I lost another like 5 to 6 kilograms at the time, so in total around 8 kilograms since I was in London. So I felt really good, like defined and lighter, and I really enjoyed that feeling. Especially in Seoul, even though it's a city area, there's so many mountains, hills and stairs to climb, and obviously in some cases it is not ideal when it's really hot outside, but it does force you to walk a lot more than you normally would in other cities. There's just so many stairs in the subway. So when I was preparing for my body profile, I made a promise to myself that I will always just take the stairs. The final point is about diet food. There are so many diet foods in Korea that is actually the best place to be on a diet in my opinion. There are so many like diet snacks and diet noodles that are like low calorie noodles, and they are not just low calorie but very healthy too. A lot of them are made of like grains or like rice snacks. Some noodles are made of like soy milk, which I recently found is like 50 calories for 1 pack of noodles. The other thing is tofu is so cheap, so it's amazing for vegans. I have 1 pack like this. In fact, I'll go get it. Like this kind of tofu, soft tofu, and you can put this in soups. This is like 500 won for 1 pack, which is like 30p in the UK. There's so many soy milks, and these days a lot of oat milks and almond milks as well, but back in the day, like 2 years ago also, there was mainly just soy milk as dairy milk alternatives. But also they're just great because they're high in protein. So I have this one which has 10 grams of protein, and this one which is like almond and walnut milk, and this really cute tiny one which is oat milk. So in summary, I was like 52, 53 kilograms when I was in the UK. I got down to like 43 kilograms when I was taking my body profile photos, which I'll insert at some point here, and I was really happy with the progress. It doesn't end there. I really wanted to gain more muscle after that. I continued to work out and I started climbing, and at some point I got to 41 kilograms. I was really quite muscular and really low fat. I knew that wasn't that healthy to have such low fat, and I wasn't trying to reduce my fat percentage on purpose at that point. I had a lot of stresses in my life which caused me to not be able to gain much weight. I've been working on gaining weight for around 6 months, and now I think I'm at a point where I'm pretty happy with where my body is at, and I just want to maintain it now. So I'm now like 46 kilograms. I hope you are staying healthy, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.